Whether you're ending the morning or starting the afternoon, tune in to Danny.M every Tuesday afternoon from 1 o'clock and every Wednesday morning from 10. Expect the hottest topics, the UK chart update, news and gossip from the music industry, the Yesterday, Yesterplay feature, and all the biggest hits. All squeezed into 2 hours. Danny.M, only on 6 Towns Radio.
Right then, Stoke on Trent is coming. It's a brand new annual Comic Con and memorabilia fair taking place on Sunday the 28th of September. It's happening at Staffordshire University, hosted by 6 Towns Radio and Trending PR, and it's going to feature signings, photo opportunities and Q&As with stars of the big and small screen. Plus, there's going to be a memorabilia and comic stalls, plus a cosplay fancy dress competition, along with some other great surprises. I'm not going to give too much away right now, but all I can say is make sure you get your tickets. I'm going to tell you how in just a few minutes, but right now, I've got one of the guests from the lineup on the phone, and if you're a Doctor Who fan, you're not going to want to miss this. He was the 6th incarnation of the Doctor from 1984 to 1986. Can you guess who? Well, it's none other than Colin Baker. Hi, Colin.
Hello there.
How are you doing, okay?
Yeah, I'm doing fine, thank you. Looking forward to coming to Stoke.
Definitely. I spoke to Norman Lovett the other day. You did mention him in one of the jingles you did for us earlier. Have you met Norman before?
I have met Norman Lovett at other conventions I've been to. Yes, I've met all those people.
Excellent.
That I mentioned.
And what did
we meet each other a lot, you know.
Yeah, what did you make of Norman?
He's funny.
He was very funny. He did a fantastic interview. He was very insightful, and he was very straightforward as well. Unbelievably straightforward.
He was very straightforward, yes.
Well, it's a pleasure to have you on board as part of the lineup. Thanks for visiting us. I've got a couple of things I'd like to ask you, but we also opened it up to the followers on the Facebook page for the event and asked them to get in touch with their questions as well. So I'm going to put a couple of those to you in just a little bit. I'm going to start by asking what it feels like to play the lead role in a cult sci-fi series that so many people idolise. I mean, you played the Time Lord. That's got to feel pretty awesome.
Yeah, it is. And I suppose as the years go by, it gets more awesome. Because since it's come back, it's moved into a whole new league. It was always something pretty special, but now it's pretty special with bells on since it's come back. And now the BBC seems to love it rather than seem faintly embarrassed about it, as it was in my day. So yeah, it's great. Well, it was an acting job when I did it. It was a very nice acting job, but it was an acting job, one that I enjoyed, and I went on to other things. Except this is one that never quite goes away. Those 3 years I played that part now seem to be playing an even larger part in my life than it did back then. But it was great fun to do. Well, hard work, like any TV series. You know, you see the finished result and think, oh, they must have had fun doing that. Well, you do have fun, but 90% of the time it's hard slog.
Yeah,
very often in very unconvivial surroundings.
Yeah, you mentioned that you've had sort of more to do with it these days. Do you think that's down to the fact that it's kind of become retro, sort of old?
Well, I don't think it has become retro. I think it's ultra modern actually, because there's a whole following of Doctor Who now that is aware of what we like to call classic Who, i.e., you know, the stuff up to and including Paul McGann, let's say. And then since it came back with Christopher Eccleston, it's the same program, the same concept, but it is a much more modern and glossy piece. What they can do now with the special effects is so good on television that they can do so much more, and the writing is so good. So I think the only retro element is the people who, because of the new Doctor Who, want to find out what it was like. And they come back and investigate us old dodderers who used to play it.
Definitely. Some may not know this, but before you played the Doctor, you had a cheeky little role in the series as Commander Maxil, didn't you, in the Arc of Infinity?
Peter Davison story.
How did you go from that to playing the lead role?
Well, it's because I did that, in fact, because I played that part and I got to know the producer, John Nathan Turner, a wonderful chap. I will say that because he cast me. And because we got on well and he liked what I did as Commander Maxil, he asked me to play the Doctor, breaking a long tradition that nobody who'd been in the show before was ever invited to play the Doctor. It's been broken again now, of course, because Peter Capaldi was in a previous story.
Yeah, what do you think he's going to be like as a Doctor?
he looks to me like he's going to be very special.
I think so. He's got the look, hasn't he? That mysterious kind of look.
As we talk now, we're a day away from finding out.
Are you going to be watching?
I'll probably be in my car driving from Lincoln, where I'm working tomorrow, but I shall see it as soon as I can.
Excellent. Well, we've got the Doctor in attendance at Stoke on Trent, obviously, so we felt it only fair that we bring his arch enemy to the party too. Terry Molloy, who played Davros, the creator of the Daleks, is going to be there too. And also Nicola Bryant, who of course played your assistant Perry Brown. What a great lineup for Doctor Who fans. What are Terry and Perry both like in person, Colin?
Oh, they're lovely. I mean, Nicola was my companion, so, you know, I know her well, and she had been with Peter Davison for a couple of episodes, and then I came along, and at first she was a bit suspicious of this new chap. It's always the way. You get used to working with somebody, and then they disappear, and somebody new comes along.
Yeah, you have to kind of develop a new chemistry, don't you?
Even now. And Terry Molloy is a very good friend. He played Davros, and brilliantly. And I've done some more stories with him as Davros, because the Big Finish audios, which are the Doctor Who stories on audio, which all of us have been doing for the last 10 years.
Yeah.
And I've done several stories, some very clever stories with Terry. And he was also in playing another character, The Attack of the Sadanim, which I did back in 1984.
No, you left the TARDIS behind in 1986, and I've got to say, you were dismissed pretty unceremoniously, in my opinion. I felt that you had a lot of the blame placed on your shoulders by the BBC for the apparent decline in ratings, when really it should have been placed firmly at the foot of production team, in my opinion.
Well, first of all, there weren't any declining ratings. The ratings were exactly the same.
Oh, well, that's what we were led to believe.
Yeah, no. I mean, it was never officially put out there. What happened was Michael Grade came to the BBC, and he didn't like Doctor Who. So first of all, he tried to cancel it, and there was a huge backlash. So he brought it back, and then he decided he'd tinker with the leading actor. It wasn't, you know, the BBC, not that the BBC exists. It was whoever was in charge at that time, which was him. First of all, didn't like the programme, and then he didn't like the producer much. I was trying to get rid of him. It was just a bad time for me to be playing the part, really.
In the wrong place at the wrong time, yeah.
Even though they originally contracted me for 4 years, I only got to do 3.
So how did you feel about it back then, and how do you feel about it now you've had sort of 28 years to reflect on it?
Well, I was kind of hacked off back then. I was enjoying myself.
Yeah.
In retrospect, it didn't do me any harm. It's too tempting to... I mean, the actors currently playing the part are quite right. You know, stay in it for 2 or 3 years and then springboard off and do something different. I have to say that the opportunities now, given the level that Doctor Who is at now, for all the actors who've left the programme since it came back, they're all, you know, doing remarkable stuff, major movies, and we oldies could be quite jealous, I suppose.
Yeah.
Back then, the BBC wasn't... It didn't regard Doctor Who as one of its mainstream programmes, I don't think. And it was slightly embarrassed to be doing sci-fi at all.
Yeah.
It's only since programmes like Life on Mars and Goodnight Sweetheart have proved that fantasy can be mainstream, that Doctor Who has been welcomed back with open arms. So, you know, I've moved on. The Doctor Who fans have always been very kind and very gracious, and they're still anxious to meet us. And I spend, you know, quite a bit of time going to conventions, celebrating something I did 30 years ago. It's amazing.
That's got to be pretty special, hasn't it? And I suppose that's the beauty of the Doctor as well, isn't it? I know there's been numerous James Bonds in the James Bond universe, but the Doctor can just sort of regenerate and come back, can't he? And it can make it timeless, to be honest. Do you think if the BBC knew back then what they knew now, that they would have sort of knocked it on the head like they did?
Oh, no, of course not. And what has happened now is, instead of being an organisation that just collected the licence fee and, you know, made the programmes it wanted to, now it's having to behave more like a commercial organisation and make the programmes that people want. Well, whether that's a good thing or a bad thing, I don't know, but but it's been very good for Doctor Who, because first of all, it's generated massive income from them.
Yeah.
It's now being shown literally all over the world.
Yeah.
And in my day, it was just kind of America, Australia, and that was it. But now I'm getting invitations to conventions in Europe, South America, Asia. I mean, it's just getting broader and broader. And Peter Capaldi and Jenna are off around the world now. And I read they were in Brazil last week.
Oh, right.
So Doctor Who is now, it's major currency for the BBC. And they've also got a good handle on the merchandising.
Definitely.
Because all those wonderful toys and figures and games, it's big business. And as a result, it's very well made. Because they want to make sure that it's, driving the business machine forward, if you like.
Yeah, and obviously you helped play a part in getting it to where it is today. That must be pretty special.
Yeah. And back in the 80s, if you came in under budget on a programme, you got less budget next time. So, and everyone was trying to get in, under budget, so the programme got made. Whereas now, they're prepared to spend in order.
Right then, let's talk about The Jungle. You appeared in the 12th series of I'm a Celebrity in 2012, didn't you?
I did.
Just for the listeners' benefit, that was the one where Charlie Brooks from EastEnders ended up winning that. What was it like doing 15 days in there? I think I got the wall.
Every bit is exhausting. It's hard.
Yeah.
And it's amazing how quickly, when you're separated from your family and all the things you're used to, like a comfortable bed to sleep in, decent food, cover, news, books, music, all those things, how quickly it really kind of eats away at you. We were very lucky because we all got on very well together.
Yeah.
And they were a nice bunch of folk. But every one of us was quite keen to get out, not because of not liking each other, but because it's the being cut off. It's not even the enduring the eating strange things. It's that separation from all that you know and love. That's the hard thing.
Was it as you expected before you went in? Did you expect it to be quite so hard?
It was harder.
Right.
It was harder than I expected. It's smaller than you think, that little clearing in the jungle. It really is in the jungle. Nobody comes in at night with takeaways and things like that. You really are treated like cattle.
Yeah.
Nobody will talk to you. When they come in to change your batteries, they don't speak to you. And you're kind of, you can hear vaguely in the distance the people who come into the earlier show, but it's in the middle of nowhere. The families have to drive an hour and a half from civilization to get to you.
Yeah.
And it's smoky, because you have to keep that fire going in order to have fresh water to drink, because you have to boil all the water. So you stink of smoke, you're starving, you don't know what's going on, you don't know what the football scores are.
There could be a world war kicking off, couldn't there? And you wouldn't know about it.
Well, there could. We fantasized about that suddenly nobody came in to get you. And you went out to look and there was nothing else left.
Yeah, the apocalypse had just happened and you were the only survivors.
Yeah.
I bet you find yourself thinking about things like that, don't you?
Well, you do. You do.
You mentioned starving. There was a big reason for that, wasn't there? Little Miss Helen Flanagan. she kept giving up on the bush tucker trials, didn't she? And everybody was starving.
They kept trying to make us have a go at Helen, but there was no point. We knew she wouldn't be able. It was the blessed British public that decided to keep doing it to her, and we knew she wouldn't come back with any food.
Yeah.
So there's no point getting angry with her. That's not going to help her. We just felt sorry for her, poor kid.
It still must have been so tough, though.
Yeah, it was. Mind you, I did lose weight.
Well, yeah, there is that. I could do with going into the jungle myself, lose a couple of stone. Now, here's something that you've done that I'm really jealous about, and I had to really look up this one. You've driven a hot lap on the Top Gear track, haven't you?
Yeah.
Now, I know a Cyberman won that particular competition, and they just won a Doctor Who's most persistent enemies. I won't rub that in too much.
Well, had it been one of the Cybermen I worked with on a regular basis, I might have been a little irritated.
Yeah.
But I'm sure it's no surprise to know that the person inside the Cyberman was slightly more familiar with with that track than any Cyberman would be.
Can you reveal who that was?
No, I don't know.
Was it the Stig?
Well, whether there's only one Stig or not, I don't know.
I think we all know there's more than one. I think I saw a clip on YouTube the other day of him bungee jumping from a crane with a Formula One car. Yeah.
They're usually kind of Formula 2, Formula 3 guys, and not only that, but they know the track. So I think I did quite well.
So you genuinely don't know who was in the Cyberman suit that day, then?
No.
Oh, well, I think they cheated then.
Turned up.
Did you get any advice from the Stig?
I didn't actually get to meet the Stig.
Oh, I'd be devastated.
I got advice from... I was taken on a circuit by one of their drivers. He might have been the Stig, for all I know. But he wasn't introduced as that. I did one circuit with them, and they told me, to forget everything you ever learned about driving and do it this way, about when to brake and when not to brake and all that, and when to steer, which I promptly forgot. I just do what I normally do and try and go as fast as I can. I did all right.
You certainly did. Yeah, I think you did better than I would have done, to be honest. Right then, let's get through a couple of these questions from the Stoke Con Trent Facebook page. We had a few people get in touch. Duncan Newell got in touch. He wants to know if you watch Doctor Who these days, and if so, what do you think of it in general?
Yeah, I do. I've watched most of it. For some reason, I haven't seen much of the last Matt Smith series. I saw all of the one before. I love him. I love Matt Smith. I think he's got a wonderful kind of disarming 900-year-old in a 12-year-old's body, kind of, and he's kind of wonderfully random and fresh. But then I like David as well, and I like Chris. I would suggest, without being immodest, that there's never been a Doctor Who wasn't fantastic. Every single one I've seen has done a brilliant job, and I love watching it.
Brilliant. And then Catherine Harding's also got in touch via the Facebook page. She wants to know if you got to keep the jacket that you wore when you played the Doctor.
I did. I've still got it.
Are you going to be wearing it at the convention?
Who knows?
I think you should just...
a few weeks away.
Catherine said she's coming. I reckon you should bring it with you.
I'll have to see how well it fits.
Right, just one final thing from me, Colin, and it's a big one in Stoke on Trent. Have you visited Stoke on Trent before?
I have. I did a convention in the Potteries.
Right.
10, 15 years ago.
Which convention was that?
It was one organised by my dear friend Rob Cope, who lives in that area, who runs my website very generously.
Right.
And he organised one at the location where we filmed the last episode of Trial of a Time Lord. We filmed in one of the actual potteries, next to a kiln.
Oh, in a kiln or next to a kiln?
Next to, around.
Right. I was going to say, I don't think they put you in one. They're huge. So you've been to Stoke before. Now,
yeah, I went to Stoke as a kid as well, because I was brought up in Manchester, and we used to go to Trenton Gardens. That's in Stoke, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. I go there quite a lot with my little boy. They've done really good things there, actually. Have you tried the North Staff's oatcake yet?
I don't believe I've had oatcakes, but whether I've had a North Staffordshire oatcake or not, I don't know.
I think when you're down, you should try one. Do you know what an oatcake is?
Yeah.
It's one of these things that you have to do when you visit Stoke, honestly. You can't get them anywhere else in the world, and if you can, they're fake. And you can have things like...
Well, I expect to be offered one when I'm there.
I think we can sort that out. I'll have a word with Terry at 6 Towns and see what we can get arranged. But we're going to get you to try an oatcake, and then I'll be in touch to see what you thought.
I'm up for that.
I'd recommend it with bacon cheese with a bit of brown sauce.
Well, I'm allergic to cheese, but I'll have the bacon.
Oh, no, get the bacon on then. That'll do. Okay then, folks, if you like what you've heard today, you can meet Colin in person at Stoke Con Trent on Sunday the 28th of September at Staffordshire Uni. He's going to be signing autographs, doing some photo ops, and he sounds like a lovely bloke. I'm sure he'll have a right laugh with you. Tickets are just £10 each if purchased in advance, otherwise they'll be £12 each on the door, but be warned, there's no guaranteed entry when paying on the door, as it's sure to be a busy day, and it's going to be one in, one out, I promise you. Just visit www.stokecontrent.co.uk, that's all one word, stokecontrent.co.uk. for more information and to buy tickets. Colin, thank you so much for coming on the show today. I'm really stoked that I've actually spoken to Doctor Who, I've got to tell you.
I'm stoked to have talked to you.
It's been great. It's been an absolute pleasure, and it's been really insightful. So thank you very much, and I look forward to seeing you down at the convention.
See you then.
Thank you very much, Colin. You take care.
Bye now.